Hello everyone, this is 2020. I will illustrate some major things that have been brewing since January. All facts, be forewarned, stay tuned. January 2020. What a foundational month to start the year. Spillover effects of the Australian bushfires that annihilated wildlife and displaced many families. Spillover effects of Chilean civil protests rooted from inequality, privatization, and increased cost of living. The Wuhan lockdown started, eventually COVID-19 spreading worldwide. The UK formally left the EU on the 31st of January, and the notable extrajudicial killing of Iranian military Quds Force commander General Qasem Soleimani via a drone strike in Baghdad by the US government, raising tensions in the region and resulted in an accidental shutdown of Ukraine Boeing plane Flight 752. February 2020. Eyebrow-raising events. The start of increasing Black Lives Matter movement cases as American Ahmaud Arbery was fatally shot while jogging unarmed in a predominantly white area, Satilla Shores. After a 2-year investigation, Israel's Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit indicted Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of corruption charges. He was charged with fraud, bribery, and breach of trust. A Thai soldier went on a shooting rampage using an assault rifle in 4 locations in Nakhon Ratchasima city. He was eventually shot dead by a sniper. More than 5 tons of illicit drugs inside a homemade semi-submersive submarine vessel were seized off the coast of Panama. 4 Colombian smugglers were arrested. March 2020. Word-of-mouth fears starts to spread how 2020 will be a very challenging year in recent history. The WHO declared the coronavirus outbreak as a global pandemic. Lockdowns were placed in much of Europe. For the first time since 2008, the stock market crash began with history's largest point plunge for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a 7.80% decline. It was followed by 2 more record-setting point drops. Never happened before in 100 years. Never happened before in 100 years, 171.8 millimeters of heavy rains in just 24 hours in Brazil led to widespread floods and landslides that killed at least 32 people. More than 2,500 people evacuated from the Minas Gerais state. April 2020. More eye-opening news that are very cutthroat. As of April 2nd, the coronavirus has allegedly infected more than 1 million people and killed more than 51,000 people worldwide. Forest fires in Ukraine led to radiation because of its proximity to Chernobyl. The radiation were above normal. The U.S. Department of Defense, specifically the Pentagon, officially released 3 declassified videos of unexplained aerial phenomena, or UFOs, taken by U.S. Navy pilot David Fravor. It was first leaked in 2007 and 2017 by a private company. May 2020. There are always shades of lightness and darkness that you witness in life. Locust plague infests India and ravaged areas in the north. Millions of locusts devoured approximately 50,000 hectares of crops, the biggest locust invasion in India in nearly 3 decades. The death of George Floyd under the excessive use of force by Minneapolis police triggered mass protests and riots not only across the US but also various parts of the globe, in the name of the Black Lives Matter movement. Various statues that symbolizes brutal colonialism across the world have been toppled down. Murder hornets spotted in the US for the first time originated from Asia. The deadly species was first discovered in Washington, is breeding its way across the US. June 2020. More awakening. East Africa invaded and ravaged by locusts destroyed hundreds of thousands of hectares of crops, contaminated water sources, and displaced thousands of households in at least 8 countries. Almost 5 million people become in risk of hunger and famine. At least 81 people died and 7 kidnapped after a suspected Boko Haram attack in northeast Nigeria. Men in armored tanks and trucks filled with guns attacked a village. Hong Kong protesters and police clash at the 31st anniversary of Tiananmen Square after thousands defied an official ban to stage protests. The Russian government ordered a state of emergency after 20,000 tons of diesel fuel leaked into a river and surrounding soil outside the northern Siberian city of Norilsk. India and China's Aksai-Chin-Ladakh border tensions erupted. At least 20 Indian soldiers and army officers were killed. Beijing has yet to reveal the number of Chinese casualties or the reason of its secrecy and information control. July 2020. There is usually more than meets the eye. A rare brain-eating amoeba or Naegleria fowleri has been confirmed in Florida, USA. Commonly found in warm freshwater such as lakes, rivers, ponds, and canals, the amoeba enters the body through the nose. Most people die within a week of contraction. The Copernicus Climate Change Services announced in July that global temperatures show there is an exceptional warmth over Arctic Siberia, where average temperatures averaged as high as 5 to 10 degrees Celsius above normal for June 2020. The US's Moderna Inc. also tested their coronavirus vaccine and is said to successfully produce antibodies in all its patients. However, some experienced side effects, some of them severe. More than half who got the middle of 3 doses suffered mild to moderate fatigue, chills, fever, headaches, and muscle pain. A key question: how long will the antibodies last? Jeffrey Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was his partner in crime for his elite pedophile ring since 1994, and also the daughter of media mogul Robert Maxwell, was arrested by the FBI on July 2nd on sex trafficking of minors while staying at a luxury home on a 156-acre estate in New Hampshire. She is charged with 6 counts. August 2020. Sometimes people don't want to see the brutal truth of reality. Sexual assault survivors could face jail up to 4 months in Victoria, Australia if they publicly identify themselves under the new law. Victims could be prosecuted for discussing their own experiences in the media, on TV, online, any public exhibition, or by writing a book unless they use a fake name. These survivors and others are being forced to return to court to obtain court orders to speak publicly about their cases, which can be prohibitively expensive to pursue. A great fire that started allegedly on the 6th floor struck Indonesia's Attorney General's office, notably burning the staff and intelligence rooms. The Attorney General's office have been hands-on for various high-profile Indonesian corruption cases. 24 fire trucks were deployed, and it took approximately 9 hours to completely extinguish. Cause of fire remain unclear. BLM protests and riots across the US that was triggered by another police excessive use of force against Jacob Black, shooting him 7 times in the back. More violence and some death during the protests and riots ensued. Now that we have entered September 2020, how will humanity make use of it? September, then October, then November, then December. Will history repeats itself always ring true? You create the change. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.